The dome tent in the picture has a diameter of 15 feet and is shaped as a hemisphere. Should recognize that, half a sphere, right? And the tent has no floor. How many square yards of fabric are required if the tent, for the tent, if 5%, watch this, the extra skip there, if 5% extra is needed for the overlapping parts. So how much fabric, what are you thinking? Fabric is what, volume or surface area? Surface area. They kind of gave it away by saying square yards anyways. So just look for hints. So let's see here. We know that this whole thing is 15 feet, which means that the radius is 7.5 feet. Okay? And we want our answer in square yards, which means we need to convert our feet to yards, right? You either do it right away or you do it at the end once you've converted to area. I think it's better to do it right away. So watch this. You go 7.5 feet. What's the conversion rate for going from feet to yards? We know that 1 yard has 3 feet. So there's something you need to remember. The 1 and the 3, like this, never changes. It's just where are you going to put the numbers? That's what matters. And we want feet to cancel out with feet. Okay, so that's why we strategically put the 3 feet in the denominator and the 1 yard at the top. So it's basically this times 1 divided by 3. So I'm going to go 3.5 divided by, 7.5 divided by 3. It's 2.5 exactly. If this hadn't rounded, if this kept going, you would have used all decimals, okay? So this is important, but it's not our final answer. So let's do the surface area of a hemisphere, which is what? 2 pi r squared, correct? I hope you have that. This is just 2 pi 2.5 squared. And now it's just a matter of, I'm paranoid. I think that somebody's behind me the whole time now. 39.26 something. What do we do? What does this adding 5% extra? We're going to buy a little bit more, right? Because we're putting, I guess, think about it this way. If you were to cut it here, you're going to sew these pieces together. So you need a bit of extra material for that overlap, right? So how do we add 5% to anything? You go, how should I do this? Surface area with the extra. I'm just going to go 39.26 something. I'm going to multiply that by 1.05. That's one way to do it. Or you find 5%, which means take this, multiply it by 0.05, and then add it. It's up to you. I will do it this way. So I grab my value. I'm going to add 5% to that, so it's 41.23. Now I can round. This is in squared yards. But I need you to understand this, okay? Method 2. Method 2, guys, we did some conversions, then we placed it in here. Let's do some highlighting here. The 2.5 happened first. That's what we used there. So we convert it, then we calculate it. The second method would have been surface area is equal to 2 pi. We're going to use the radius in feet. And let's figure out what that is. 2 pi. You can just watch if you don't want to copy this part. I just need you to know that it's 353.42 something square feet. I'm going to take the 353.42, multiply that by 1.05. That's 371.10 something square feet. I need to add 5%, right? How do I get this answer to look like that? This is what you would do. 371.10 something square feet. Do you remember me giving you square feet and square yards? Did I give you that one? Or did I not? I did, right?
Yeah.
1 squared yard has how many square feet? And so we divide this by 9, right? Hopefully we get the same answer. There it is, 41.23 squared yards. So there is going to be some converting necessary, whether you do it at the beginning or you do it at the end. Just make sure you know that when it's squared units, that you don't just use 1 yard has 3 feet. Like that would be wrong, okay? Because you're dealing with square feet here, and so you got to make sure you convert accordingly. Okay, let's go to the second part. I'm going to let you work in a bit, okay? There are 12 curved poles that support the tents at the sides, okay? They each go from the ground at the edge to the top at the center. How long is each pole? How would you do that part? Look at it from the side, okay? You're with me here? Let's imagine the pole here from this side goes to the center, right? That's one of them. And then from there, you have one from this side that also goes to the center. So if we do this, a side view, okay, this is the bottom here. This is the center. This is a pole on this side, there's another pole on that side. How long is each pole? Like this is one of them. I'll just highlight, this is one pole right there. How would you figure out that length? Sometimes try to think bigger. If you think of, can you think of a circle? Think of this whole circle. Yeah. Circumference, yes. So the circumference of this whole thing is 2 pi radius. Let's figure that out, okay? Or maybe let's consider this. And how much of the circumference is this orange piece? 1/4. So a pole is 1/4 of the circumference. I don't care how you show it. You can just figure out the circumference, divide it by 4, or do it this way, okay? So the pole is essentially, we take this, and then we go 2 pi, whatever the radius is. What do you want the units in? I'm going to stick to feet. So this would be 2 pi, 2 pi times 7.5, right? Divide that by 4. So it's 11.78. That is the answer that you would want to go with there. So this is the side view, right? So every pole, if I could twist this shape like this, right? There's a pole here, a pole there, right? Going, so there's a bunch of circles, but this is the side view. Okay, I'll just call this side view. So yes, sometimes you have to kind of add things that are that you don't see at first. Okay. I'm going to ask you to try question 3 on page 29. We're going to skip this flower pot. Okay, we're going to skip that. We're going to go to 29, question 3. I want you to envision this. I want you to maybe look at, talk to your neighbor perhaps. A couple of things I want you to look for right away is what units do I need or should I convert? Okay, we're painting in here, right? There's an entrance door, 2 windows, there's a wall, okay? We're not painting the ceiling. The walls only. And we want 2 coats, okay? How about this? I'll make a deal with you. Maybe leave this place empty for now and do the work on page 31. I think 31 is safe to not. Give me 1 second, give me 1 sec. Yeah. So do on page 31 if you want to. I'm going to leave this up here for you. Do this on page 31. It's a blank page. I'll leave this up here for you, and you try to figure out what needs to be done. What are some formulas that I need to use? Can I figure out the cost? I'll tell you this, guys, okay? Don't focus so much on, I'm not going to get 100% on this because it's so much. Focus on what can I do and possibly get marks. And next thing you know, you might actually get it right. So just don't get overwhelmed. Don't leave it blank. Try to do as much as you can, right? And remember that we're not painting windows. We're not painting doors. So something needs to be subtracted. So I'll let you struggle with this a little bit, then I'll take it back. And then we'll take it to bigger projects after this, okay? Give it a try. That's the answer you're supposed to get. So work towards that. Okay, it's not even funny. It's probably not even fair, okay? Anyways, we've got a rectangular room, 12.5 by 14, okay? There's a door, another door, and they're not being repainted. The 2 windows, there's 2 windows that are 36 by 48, okay? I hope that you know that we're not painting windows. Last time I checked, we don't paint windows. And we know that we're 8.5 feet tall, okay? How much will it cost if we want 2 coats, knowing that this is the cost? So the biggest task is find a total surface area, right? So I will say this. I will figure out the surface area of the walls, of the room, I should say, and I'm going to subtract a door. I'm going to subtract another door, and I'm going to subtract the 2 windows. Is that a good game plan? Yeah. Okay. So now, whatever you do, you can come back here and make sure you're not missing anything. Okay? Okay. So how do you want to approach it? I don't know if you noticed, but 36 divided by 12 is 3 feet. 48 divided by 12 is 4 feet. So if you notice something like that, I mean, take advantage of it, right? Technically, you can go ahead and divide every single inch, right, length in inches by 12, and then you have it in feet immediately, okay? Is that efficient? I'm not sure. Some of you might say, yes, I will do it that way. No problem. I will just say that it might be a little bit more time consuming, but I'll just do that here. Area of that door will be 60 times 80. Okay, so let's do that. 60 times 80. That's 4,800 squared inches. How do you convert squared inches to square feet? Remember, 1 square foot has how many squared inches? 144, not 12. Okay, so you can convert that right away. Cancel that out. So you basically divide. You just divide by 144. So that's 33.33 something square feet. I've got that covered. That's door, this is door number 2. D2 is over here. I will do door 1 here. Can we, how about this? Door 1 is 32 times 80. That's 2560. 2560 squared inches. What do we do to get it into square feet? We divide by 144. That's 17.77 something square feet. So we've got door 1, we've got door 2. Let's do the windows. Windows would be 3 times 4, which is 12 square feet. How many of those do we have? We've got 2 of those, right? So that's 24 square feet. These are the windows. Okay, so I'm going to subtract door, door, windows. Yes. Right. Okay.
Excuse the interruption. Ms. Patricia, please contact the office. Ms. Patricia, contact the office, please.
It's a very good question. So you mean they never told us whether or not this has taxes in it, right? This doesn't have? So I maybe didn't look carefully when I copied the... let me see. 139.96. Yes, I never added taxes on this one. So, but at some point you should have at least come up with 139.96. That's already telling you you're on the right track, right? So good point, good point. The province will absolutely make sure that you know this includes or doesn't include taxes, okay? We're assuming it doesn't. What are default taxes? 12%. If they ask you to do the 5% taxes, they will tell you. They will tell you it's only GST. And I don't know if you knew that in Manitoba, any services is only 5% tax. So if they come and clean your carpets, if the plumber comes and installs or fixes your furnace, it's only 5% on the labor. 5% on labor, on services, okay? So let's keep going here. So surface area of the room. Did anybody figure out the surface area of the room? I haven't done that yet. Surface area of room is the perimeter times the height. I'm going to use that one. If you do the perimeter, it's 2 times this plus 2 times that. I'll do that on the side. 2 times 12.5 plus 2 times 14. What is that number? Is it 53? Did anybody do this? 53, right? 28, yeah, okay. Yeah, 25 and this is 25, that is 28, yeah, 53. So 53 times the height of the room, which is 8.5. That is 450, no matter how you did it. Okay? This is the surface area of the room itself, just the walls, by the way. Okay, so now we can proceed. 450.5 minus door number 1 minus door number 2 minus the 2 windows. So here we go. Minus 17, I have that in my calculator. Minus 33, I have that in my calculator. Minus 24, I'm just going to type that one in. That's 375.38, that keeps going, square feet to be painted. Okay, so now we know that this is what we need to paint, actually paint. If we remove all the non-paintable surfaces, this is a very important number to arrive to. Got it? Now we calculate the cost. So how do I do that? I need cans. So cans would be 375.38 ... times 2. Yeah. So I'll do that here. Times 2. 2 coats. Yes, that's a good one. You know what? I could have easily forgotten that. But we divide it by 200 square feet. So basically, you just multiply that by 2 and then divide it by 200. So it's 3.75 something cans, okay? 3.75, which is approximately 4 cans. Here's the cost. 4 times $34.99. And I did forget taxes. I looked at my key. I did not do this step right here, but you can do it all in one shot. So 4 times 34.99 times 1.12. That's 156.76. So sorry, some of you did get this number, and you probably thought it was wrong. That is my bad. I will update my key right now to reflect that. Okay, hold on. I want you to try the rest of 29 and 30. Okay? And then if you're adventurous, page 19, I don't know if you remember the truncated cone. Page 19 has the key. Then try page 28, which has another truncated cone right there. That's just an extra challenge. I would say focus on 29 and 30. And then tomorrow we'll start the major projects, like we're excavating, we're putting gravel down, we're putting concrete on top. Yeah, we're gonna do that, okay? One more thing I want to say. These types of questions, sometimes, guys, listen carefully because you hate these. Normally, you would like options, but in the exam, they sometimes say, you must pick, you're renovating the room, you must pick the paint. This particular paint costs $30 a can, this one costs $40, this one costs $50. So you have to choose the paint. And some students are like, I can't handle this. You just pick one. Just pick one and go with it. It's a nightmare for us to mark, because whatever you pick, that's like choose your own adventure, right?
What's the point of them doing that?
They don't want you to just be robotic, like here's this. They want you to be like, sometimes they also put a restriction on they give you a budget. You can't go over $1,000. So sometimes you have to be like, oh, I can't pick this because I'm over. I gotta change my color choice. I know. It is rare, but it happens, okay? So